Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD Nero, aka He Who Pods, aka Rearview Mirror, aka No Shape Up, No Problem. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm Dash, aka I was just about to say, if you didn't say anything, I don't think anybody would have
You know,
thought anything of it. But
there's an epidemic right now going on of pointing out when men on podcasts don't have shape ups. So I figure I beat them to the punch. You know what I'm saying?
is there an epidemic going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of men podcasters calling out other men because they don't have haircuts and shape ups when they record.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently every time you cut on a camera, you're supposed to be fresh as I'm is. You know what I'm saying?
We can't all have a barber come to our home. Or a
Listen,
hairstylist.
I'm not going to say names, but there are some very famous people who stand in front of a camera and mostly don't have a shape up, and they still make millions of dollars and have millions of views. So
I feel like if you're making your millions anyway.
I mean, I ain't making no anything, so why the fuck do people care? I don't know. But they ain't say it about me. I just figure I beat them to the punch before they do say it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. You are the king of R&B.
I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B, aka cool grandma, but not really. Yeah, and yeah, that's me. That's oof arms. Anyway, so time to pod.
Time to pod. Let's get to it. Listen, we've been telling y'all for a year now about these IMax tickets.
Yep.
The game has changed. It used to be you could just go at midnight, you know, and just go wait on a line and just go see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in IMaX. And you didn't have to worry, you know? Yes, Tobey Maguire, folks. I did not say Tom Holland. I'm trying to tell y'all how long I've been going to the IMAX and how different things are. Okay? You used to just roll up at 11 o'clock, 10:30 maybe, and say like, hey, I'm here for the midnight showing. IMAX, thank you. Here's my cash, all right? Today, ladies and gentlemen, the game has changed. The apps have crashed. The websites have crashed. And people are resorting to IRL. They're going in real life to try to wait online and get tickets because the virtual digital game is not happening. It's fucked up out here. And here is a Bloomberg representative saying the same thing. A Bloomberg reporter, I guess is the better way to say it. This is a little clip for y'all.
I'm currently at AMC Lincoln Square, and I was coming here to get my Dune Part 3 tickets in IMAX 70mm, but clearly I'm not the only person that had this idea. I thought going in person would make the most sense because last time I tried this, the app crashed, the website crashed, but clearly it doesn't really make a difference. With the Odyssey and Spider-Man, AMC, Regal, and Fandango's apps and websites all crashed. They're
all crashed. Thank God my phone did not land on the floor.
Right. I have a problem with this. I have a problem with the fact that buying movie tickets is starting to look like buying concert tickets. I don't like this. I don't like this. First of all of y'all who are doing it for the plot, go home.
I hate that.
Get off the line. Go home. I think it applies here because I think that sometimes people just want to be a part. They don't even really give a shit about the thing. They just want to be a part. And I get it. It's a movie. It's entertainment. We can all go to the movies. It's open to all as long as you have the money to buy a ticket. And that's fine. That's why I like the movies. You could just waltz into the movies, like you said, whenever you want. Whenever you feel like seeing a movie, you can go see a movie. This is making that hard to do. And that is frustrating to me because one, I still have not been able to find a reasonable ticket. And when I say reasonable, I mean not sitting in the first row ticket to see the Odyssey in 70 millimeter at Lincoln Square. But also, like, we buying tickets a year in advance, 6 months in advance. We're scrambling, and then the theaters are not even that large. Like when you if you go to the movies enough, you know, a lot of these theaters are not like the actual physical theater, like theater 1, theater 2, whatever. They're not that large. They're not that large. So it's totally understandable that if a lot of people are trying to go, it's going to be difficult to get tickets. I totally understand that. But also, the things that they're doing in the film industry to boost sales at this point, it's affecting the moviegoer experience. And I don't like that because I actually like going to the movies, and I go to the movies regularly. And all of y'all people who just want to go see the blockbusters, please slow down. Slow it down. Anyway. And AMC, fix your app. Fandango, fix your app. Fix the app.
Don't forget Regal.
Regal, fix your app. Fix that. I don't understand. Somebody made a good point too. Like whenever they do something like this, where you have to be in a queue or whatever, the queue starts before you even get to the movie. You open the app and you're in a queue. What if I'm opening the app so I could book a ticket to see some independent film? Don't do that. What is that? Everybody's not booking Doomsday. It's annoying. I'm going to see all of these movies, by the way. Well, not Dune. I've never seen Dune. So it doesn't make sense for me to go see this Dune that's coming out. Y'all can have that. But all the other movies, hello? I'm irritated by this. I really am. I really am. Especially because I still didn't get my stupid ticket.
Well, let me respond to you first, and then I'll give you this last little tidbit of information. Every couple of days, I just go on the AMC app for shits and giggles and see
Yep.
if I could find a 70 millimeter IMax ticket for Odyssey.
Same.
And
Same.
there's only handicap seats available.
Same.
like for months. Like just the rest of the time that it's there, it's just like that. Now, what I will say is this is a cheat code I probably shouldn't be saying on air, but whatever. There's a difference. There's two different showings of 70 millimeter. There's 70 millimeter and then there's 70 millimeter IMAX. There are tickets available for 70 millimeter that is not IMAX.
Now I want to see 70 millimeter IMAX.
Well, good, you know, then you're going to have to get a handicap seat. Pull up in a wheelchair. People are selling Dune 3 70 millimeter tickets on eBay for $200 a pop. Someone allegedly sold 8 of them for $4,000.
AMC is not Ticketmaster. Stop trying to make it that. Please. This is not StubHub.
Flipper's gonna flip.
I don't feel that way. I don't. It's a movie. It's a movie. At most, you're paying, I don't know, $30 for a movie, which is ridiculous, by the way. But at most, you're paying $30 for a movie. You should not, absolutely not, be going on eBay to have to pay thousands of dollars for a movie ticket. I don't care how popular the movie is. We over commodify everything today, like every little thing. We don't need to. It's a movie. Movies are available to all people. What is this? It's like when they tried to say that Pilates was only for, socialites and things.
I'm not.
As if exercise is supposed to be gatekept.
I'm not getting in. I'm not saying anything about Pilates. What I will say is the IMAX experience is a different experience, and I think it
Sure.
is awesome. I also think it is unfortunate that people are ODing in this way, but I do blame AMC and these theaters for allowing some of this to happen. You do not need to sell tickets a year in advance. You do not need to sell tickets 6 months in advance. But they are making a conscious decision to do that. They are trying to get ahead of the curve and increase their quarterly sales. And that's why they're doing these things. And so I recognize that. I don't like it, but I do see what they're doing.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Just to be clear, I see what they're doing. It's a movie. It's a movie theater.
Or you can still see it in regular format, you know? The
You can
movie's
still see it
still
in
available.
Okay.
Just, you know. I don't like what they're doing. I'm just
Okay.
saying it is still available in other formats.
But yet they're making these movies with the intention of, sure, people can see it in regular format, but it's intended to be seen in a specific format.
Sure, but on the flip side, right? Here's another example. When someone makes an album, they make an album or a hit record, right? You make a hit record, but it intended to be played in the club. But that don't mean I can't listen to it in my headphones or at home on my speaker system.
Sure. Sure.
I'm only saying that
Listen,
because there are people.
I'm not gonna fight a fight for.
No, finish.
This is a gripe that I have. I'm not gonna fight a fight for or against in anybody else's favor but my own. I just kind of feel like it sucks. Like it went from being like a pretty normal, convenient experience trying to see a movie to now there are lines forming outside of AMC because their app is not working properly. Because again, it isn't just affecting the people who are trying to get the IMaX tickets. It's now affecting people who are just trying to get tickets, period, because the app isn't working, because they're not equipped to handle what they're doing.
You are correct. I'm only saying what I'm saying in response to the group of people, not you, but to the group of people who are acting like the world is ending because they can't see it in their favorite format. You can still see it in other formats. Because you're not doing that, but there are a group of people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't see Odyssey now. This is such bullshit. I gotta wait till it's available on streaming. No, the regular showings are plentifully available. There's mad regular showings available of Spider-Man, Odyssey, and Dune. And Doomsday. There's mad regular tickets available. So I'm saying that in response to those folks who are like, oh my God, this is so crazy now. I can't watch it. You can still watch it.
Right, because I did see Odyssey and didn't see it where I would have liked to have seen it. I just wanted to see it again in that format. But
That's what I'm saying. Again, not you, but there are people on the internet crying about, like, I can't see the movie I've been trying so desperately to watch. Yes, you still can. Yes, you still can. You can still watch it.
Also, I hope nobody's watching this. I hope this is the episode where no one watches. Because I'm gonna say, listen, if I can't see it now, or if I can't see it in September, I'm just going to wait till February and I'll go see it then when they put it back in the theater before the Oscars.
That's all.
It's fine. And I'm sure it'll be in that format when they put it back there. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But you better book your ticket now for February.
Absolutely not. No, because at that point it's gonna die down, and yeah, people will probably go see it still, but it'll be a little bit different by then.
I know. I was being
so I'll wait. No, I know, but I'm just saying I will wait. I don't mind waiting for that. Like it's not the end of the world. It's just annoying, and it's annoying. It's like some of y'all don't even know what it is.
Right.
Y'all just going because somebody said that's the cool thing.
And
You know what I mean?
I do. And some people who are doing it for the plot, quote unquote, they're doing it because they don't have a plot. They're doing it because they don't have a story to tell. They simply are trying
Right.
desperately to get some attention, to get some story to tell. And those are the people who annoy the fuck out of me.
I agree. Yeah, one day we'll have a conversation about how people don't actually have hobbies anymore. They just perform them. But
And speaking of performing,
mhm.
BTS fans are very upset. Some BTS fans are very upset with two of the members of BTS. And for that, we go to Complex.
BTS wasn't on my 2026 bingo card. Like, if somebody would have told me that we would have talked about BTS even once on this podcast, I'd be like, really? You think so? And here we are, again, talking about BTS.
Again!
Yeah, which is fine.
Group members RM
Please carry on.
BTS is facing major backlash after group members RM and J-Hope went to Chris Brown's concert with Usher and Liberty Love Complex News. The two BTS members attended the show in Toronto, where they were seen singing along to Look at Me Now and later posed for photos backstage with Chris Brown. Brown then shared the photos of RM and J-Hope, and the BTS army was not happy about it. Fans immediately started calling out the group for publicly associating with Brown, who has had numerous arrests and faced a number of lawsuits over the years, including in 2009 when he pleaded guilty for assaulting his then girlfriend Rihanna. The backlash got even bigger after a TikTok user posted a video discussing BTS fans and their relationship with the group, saying, "I don't support Chris Brown and I don't support people who are abusers." Brown responded in the comments with, "Pray about it." The comment was deleted, but screenshots and screen recordings have spread massively. Fans have since started using the hashtag armies against abusers, with some also criticizing what they see as a double standard and how parts of the fandom treat the female idols compared to the male. This also isn't the first time J-Hope has publicly shown admiration for Brown. He previously wrote about Brown's music and praised him as an artist and performer. Now, the conversation is less about whether you can separate the art from the artist and more about why would BTS publicly support someone with such a controversial history. For a group with a massive female fan base, many fans feel like this association is doing the weight. What do you think? Should artists
Oh, whoops.
face backlash for associating with controversial artists? I'm Liberty Level Complex News. Make sure to shop on Complex.
My bad, lady. I didn't mean to cut you off.
What do you think about this?
I think, I gotta chill. I think as an artist, every artist admires other artists.
That's true. I believe
Jay-Z
that.
has spoke about his admiration for Nas. Beyonce has spoke about her admiration for multiple people. Drake has spoke about his admiration for multiple people. Taylor Swift has talked about her admiration for multiple people. Part of being an artist, and I'm speaking from experience, is admiring, studying, watching other artists. Art inspires art. And so, when you are coming up, you will be a fan of someone as a person, just as a fan. But when you become an artist, that fandom changes because now you are admiring, man, if I could just rap more like this person, man, the way Lupe Fiasco is putting together these bars is really inspiring me right now. I gotta kind of try to not maybe be like Lupe, but if only I could figure out a way to kind of incorporate that, right? Or maybe you're looking at somebody like Black Thought. As a matter of fact, perfect example. Jay-Z said, if skills sold, truth be told, I'd probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense, but I sold 5 mil. I ain't been rhyming like Common Sense. At this time, Jay-Z was the man of the men of the men of the men. And here he was speaking about people he admired publicly. Artists admire other artists. Even if you don't want to be them specifically, even if you never want to rap like Talib Kweli, or you never want to rap like Jay-Z, or you never want to dance like Chris Brown, it doesn't mean that you don't admire those people and what they're doing in the game. And so I think fans got to chill the fuck out. Chris Brown is controversial. No doubt about that. Chris Brown has done a lot of things to continue to be controversial, and still did, even with the comment he left on Shorty's page. However, being a fan and studying and admiring the artistry of someone else is part of being an artist. Chris Brown, they say today, dances better than Michael Jackson. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm only telling you what's being said. But he couldn't have done that without there being a Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson couldn't have done that without there being a plethora of people before him. And so, as artists, we get inspiration and we draw inspiration from other artists. Even if you go watch the Ray Charles movie, if you go watch Ray, you see that Ray Charles was mimicking other artists when he first came out. Everyone does this. Eventually, you find out who you are. But my point in saying all of this is you draw inspiration from other people. Maybe not in the way that you're going to mimic them like Ray Charles is, and many of us did when we first came up. But you're going to look at other artists and say, man, I really fucking admire what this person is doing right here. I'm a fan. And fans who are not artists may not understand that this is slightly different than just being a fan. My dad was a huge Michael Jackson fan, but my dad was never going to be Chris Brown. He never was going to be a person who sat there and studied and became the living embodiment of the Michael Jackson dance moves. He never was going to do it. It's different when you are part of that collective, when you are an artist yourself. Okay, and this applies to all fields. Like if you draw comic books, it's the same thing, right? Like if you draw comic books and comic book characters, you're going to look at other people who do that and say like, man, the way Jim Lee did Superman was second to none. But the way Alex Ross does this set of characters, his realism is second to none. If I could find a way to draw from both of them, man, my drawings could be top tier.
Yeah.
This is how it works when you're an artist.
Of course. So what you're saying is that you think that people are overreacting.
I think people have to allow artists to be artists and artists to support other artists and be fans of artists. I'm not ignoring Chris Brown's controversial history and controversial today. I think Chris Brown is still controversial today. I'm not arguing any of that. But what I'm saying is, as fans, you have to understand that your artist is a fan too. There used to be a term when we were younger. A lot of rappers in the 90s would say, and even in the early 2000s, they would say, I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. A lot of rappers would say that in the early 90s, in the late 90s and early 2000s. Yo, you better ask somebody, I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. That's what we're talking about. This is the same thing. So BTS, even if it is one or two members of the group, if they are huge fans of Chris Brown, if that is who they admire, that's who they look to, that's who they want to study, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, here's the difference, right? If they start petitioning for Chris Brown not to get locked up for 3 years for the crime he just admitted he's guilty for, that's a different story. If they out there like, yo, the man Chris Brown is a great person, he shouldn't have to go to jail even though he just pleaded guilty. We got to get that whole case thrown out. That would be a different story. For me, that's when you start criticizing and critiquing and holding them to the fire. But dog, you can't go to a concert.
Which it could be argued that it was not just Chris Brown's concert. I mean, they were clearly singing along and enjoying Chris Brown, and there was a point made that one of the members of the group has also publicly supported Chris Brown, and they went backstage. So I don't want to ignore those things.
Yeah, that was in what I played.
Yeah, so I don't want to ignore any of that. I do understand what you're saying. I think that all of this is nuanced. I think that people have a right to not want to support someone they feel like has done something that may be unforgivable in their
Sure.
eyes. I think that's okay when there's public figures like that. And I think we all have to decide where our personal line is, and like how what they do aligns with what we believe.
Mhm.
And that's totally up to the individual. I think there's certain things that are just like socially unacceptable, right? I'm not going to get into that, but I think there are things that, like, as a society, as a culture, like we I shouldn't even say as a society. I think there are certain things that are socially unacceptable, and a large amount of people would um speak out against or not support if that's what happened. When it comes to abuse specifically, and even Chris Brown specifically, there is a lot of nuance that people apply to these situations, and that kind of allows them to reconcile whatever it is the person did.
Mhm.
All of that being said, I'm not going to give my opinion on what BTS should or should not do. But I do think that as fans of BTS, people are allowed to decide that their morals, their ethics, their values don't align with BTS.
Yes.
Right? And if Chris Brown falls under that umbrella, that is okay for people to feel that way.
Sure.
Am I offended by them going to the concert and there being photos and seeing them sing along and meet Chris Brown? No, I'm not. Personally, I don't even care to have known this information. I think celebrities go to concerts all the time. I think it's very commonplace. In fact, a lot of celebrities have gone to this particular show recently. Um, but it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't mean that I don't see the issue. I Again, I think that you have to decide as a fan of BTS, you have to decide if you can stomach that they support this person who whose apologies whose whose values may not align with theirs. I think that's what it comes down to. Um BTS also has a right to make that decision
Yeah.
for themselves. So whether they think that Chris Brown is a bad man, or they don't think he's a bad man, or whatever it is, however you want to put it, they're allowed to do the exact same thing. All of us are allowed to do that as individuals, and they made a choice. And I think the response to that is for their fans to be able to make their own choice.
Mhm.
The outcry, the big backlash of it, I think you could just walk away and just be like, you know what, I don't really mess with BTS anymore, because that's not what I'm on. Like, they support Chris Brown, I don't support Chris Brown, so I'm gonna just I, I, I'm not with it. But I don't necessarily, like, I don't know what people want BTS to do about it,
Well, they said
right?
it.
Like,
They said they want them to not support Chris Brown. They don't think BTS should support abusers. They are creating hashtags and online campaigns, and that's why I'm saying they gotta chill. Because expressing your opinion is fine, right? That's what we come up here and do. We come up here and we say, "Well, I think this and I think that, and my opinion is this and my opinion is that." But we're also not
yeah,
calling for Jay-Z to be boycotted because he made a deal with Target. We're expressing our opinion, yeah, but we're not up here starting online campaigns saying like, "Oh nah, hashtag don't support Hove," or we're not up here doing that. And so I think there's a difference. That's why I'm saying y'all gotta chill. I'm not saying shut up,
yeah.
I'm saying they gotta
Yeah,
chill.
of
Like
course.
if you don't like it, okay, say you don't like it. That's cool. But
And don't support it. But what's funny to me is instead of saying, you know what, BTS made a choice and I don't like the choice they made, and I'm gonna choose to not support them because I don't like the choice they made. Instead, people are saying BTS needs to shun this person,
and
and
that's why they gotta
BTS
chill.
needs to apologize, and they need to change course so I can continue to be a fan of
Yeah,
them.
nah.
And I think that's where sometimes people get it messed up,
Because they're
because I
entitled.
think that you could just decide that you don't. It's like when you're shopping at a store. I use this example all the time because I've done it, where you're shopping at a store, you find out that they're racist, or you walk into the store, you get followed around the store, whatever happens, somebody accuses you of stealing, whatever it might be.
Mhm.
Okay, so I could go online and I could make a petition, and perhaps it's a business, right? Maybe I should warn people that this thing is happening. Nothing wrong with that. But I also have a decision to make. Am I going to go back to that store
Mhm.
and continue to shop there,
Right.
or am I going to keep talking about the fact that I hate their practices and their practices offend me, and I need them to change their practices so I can continue to go there? I don't want to continue to go
Right.
there. It's very clear to me when something doesn't align with my values. It's very clear to me when I need to distance myself, I distance myself. And that's that.
Right.
Even with Chris Brown, I don't listen to Chris Brown's albums anymore. I'm not saying when it comes on the radio that I don't muscle memory, I don't sing along, or I don't tell anyone to turn it off. Right. But I also made a very conscious effort a few years ago, and not just because of the Rihanna thing. I don't want to make it sound like that. There were a bunch of other things that made me say, you know what, I don't really want to go as hard for this artist
Right.
as I once did. That's a choice. You could just choose not to support them. Like these people are not your friends.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. People are weirdos, I think.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying the word chill, because it's not that they gotta stop voicing their opinion, but when you
Right.
are creating hashtags and pushing narratives, I think it becomes a different thing. And so I'm
Yeah.
I'm fine with holding your artist to the fire, holding your whoever it is, right? Whoever you like to the fire. We
Mhm.
did it recently with Hove. I don't have a problem with that. I think when you start creating narratives and creating online campaigns, it becomes a little bit different. And I think, yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
chill. That's what I think. I think the same way you're a fan, that person is allowed to be a
Mhm.
fan.
Yeah. And I think you just gotta you have to make good choices for you. If you feel like your fave is not making good choices, they could just not be your fave anymore.
Right.
It could be disappointing, but they could just not be. You just not support them. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
so I don't know, but anyway, we gotta go.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here. Let us know what you think about these things. And we'll see you next time.
Adios.